You know how we were talking about Clubhouse? We were actually in a room today and somebody was talking about you. And that's a perfect example of like how you weren't in the room and somebody was talking about you. And they actually mentioned how you started monetizing MySpace and doing things that long, which just shows just the work that you're doing.
Now I really feel old.
No, I think that's powerful.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you were able to foresee that this little social network was going to actually be something that could be used for business. People weren't thinking about it for business at the time, but you were.
Right.
And you saw how I
also turned into, so my blog ended up being something that people, paid to get into as a newsletter, right? And as a special, almost like Patreon before Patreon, right? And then I started becoming a consultant helping musicians brand themselves on MySpace, because I think MySpace is still kind of a musician site. I honestly haven't been on the site in ages. But yeah, I mean, I think, I know your kind of show, and I think your listeners who are burgeoning, fledgling entrepreneurs, if not more advanced, it's like that entrepreneurial kind of spirit that has been imbibed in me, and I've been born with it. And it's one thing to be born with it, and it's another thing to execute on it, right? So I think it's important to have that idea, and that's why I say purpose. Like, who are you? Really, self-discovery is really important. Self-introspection, is really, really important to understand what it is that you feel makes you tick, what makes you excited, what makes you come alive, right? And then figuring out a way to monetize that, to translate those skills into a way that's sustainable. And some people look at that like, why do you have to monetize that? Why not just give that away for free? Well, you can, that's nothing wrong with that, but you still have to pay the bills, right? And I actually don't mind compensating somebody who can actually impact my life, even if it's something, as simple as, just a piece of advice, or going as far as helping me construct a website or whatever. Like, I feel like that's worth paying for. It's worth it to me to pay for, because the impact comes first. If the transformation and the impact comes first. But what I'm trying to say for your listeners, Jonathan, is that this is the sign that you're in the right podcast. This is the sign that you're in the right field. When I think what is a purebred kind of business owner / entrepreneur is somebody who looks at ways in which they can create impact while monetizing that, and always looking for opportunities to do that, but not in a I want money, sell way, in a way that's like, wow, okay, that's an interesting community, that's an interesting space or vertical. I see opportunity there because I have skills that can bring something bigger to the conversation. Does that make sense, Jonathan?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When somebody doesn't want to compensate a creator because they create, you'd pay to go see a movie. You pay by watching ads if you watch television. So what's the difference between you or I as a content creator that doesn't necessarily, because you're not being shown in a movie theater, doesn't mean you're not giving value. And the value you get from a movie is entertainment. Did you know that we have a Discord server? Come and join the conversation about things like entrepreneurship, monetization methods, YouTube, blockchain technologies, and more. See you over there.